No one was really listening to my music, and then one day BBC Radio 1 played one of my tracks. But what surprised me wasn't that it got played, it was what they actually did to the track. So I've had a few songs played on BBC Radio 1 now, and you might be thinking, how can you do this yourself? So I'm going to try and help you out with this today. So let's go back a little bit. I'd already uploaded my song to the BBC Introducing portal, just like most people would. And I wasn't expecting that much from it, to be honest. I'd been releasing songs independently for a little while. I hadn't had any major breakthroughs really. But then I got the email saying that my song was going to be played on BBC Radio 1 Dance with Jaguar on a Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. and I was stoked. That was a huge moment for me. But when I was listening, I realized something was actually a little bit different. They had changed my track, and more specifically, they changed the tempo. They sped up my track slightly so that it better fit the energy and the pacing of the show. And at first, I didn't really think anything of it. But as I kind of sat with that a little bit longer, I realized that that wasn't random. It showed me that even when your music gets picked up by someone like Jaguar at Radio 1, then your music still needs to fit the environment that it's being placed into. Which means it's not just about making a good track, it's about making something that fits within a specific context. And this is where I think a lot of producers stumble a little bit, because that simple tweak of increasing the BPM made something very clear to me. It's that getting your music heard isn't just about getting lucky or going viral, it's about understanding where your music belongs. And I think that's something that we can all use to our advantage. Because think about it, if your track doesn't quite fit the space that it's entering, it might get adjusted like my track, or it might just get ignored. So instead of asking, how does my music get heard? The better question might be, does my music fit the place that I want it to be heard? And you see lots of artists playing with this as well. You might see artists that make quite kind of chill music. They might make an EP or an album that's a little bit more kind of club orientated, and that's because they're saying, this is my sound, it works really well in headphones, but I want to make some stuff that can hit a little bit harder in a club. So they'll take their sound, they don't have to reinvent themselves, but they'll kind of shift it towards the environment that's going to be played in. And if that's a club, then you want it to hit, you know, well on the dance floor. If it's staying sort of chill for headphones, then you can make it a little bit more calm. And that shift for me was really helpful, because it stopped me kind of just making tracks in isolation. I started thinking about the real world environments that they could be played. So it meant that the songs that I finish and that I like, instead of just sending it off to random places, I could be a little bit more picky about where they go. This song works well for that record label. This song sounds like it could work well for radio. So if you're a producer and you're trying to get your music out there, then this is something that's worth paying attention to early. Because it's not just about making songs that other people will like, it's about making music that fits where you want it to live. So if you are a DJ and you want it to hit on the dance floor, then you can make your music orientated around that environment. If you want to go for radio plays, then have a look into radio edits. Look at the radio shows that you want your music to be on, and look at the broad range of music that's on there. Is there anything that's in common? Is there something that ties it all together? Whether it's energy, whether it's BPM, or is it that you're looking to get your music signed by a record label? In which case, research that record label, listen to their music, see if yours can fit in with theirs in some way. This approach takes the guesswork out of submitting your music to record labels, to radios, to playlists, and it will give you a much better chance of success. Stick with me on this channel if you like this video. I've got loads more stuff coming up soon, and I will catch you on the next video.